Hi, this is Maria from theteacherschool.com, and I am a math specialist and an educational therapist. And what that means is that I work with students, providing them with intensive intervention around math, and I also provide professional development for teachers around intervention in math. And today I wanted to share with you one of my favorite games and one of my students' favorite activities, the staircase game. I love the staircase game because it provides a lot of practice with number sense, with estimation, with place value, and even some addition practice in there. And I've adapted it for you today, showing you how you can play it remotely during remote learning, either one-on-one with a student by screen sharing or with a whole class also screen sharing. And without further ado, here is the staircase game. I hope it really helps you out and your students have fun learning. Talk to you soon. All right, so when I start this activity, I start here on Toy Theater. One thing to know that there are ads on Toy Theater to the right here, and I'm covering them up right now just so that I don't have to take them out when I edit this video. But just know that there are some ads. So far, I haven't seen anything that's inappropriate for children, but that's just something to consider. So I go down to the virtual manipulative section. There's a lot here. I'm actually going to use two of the virtual manipulatives to play this game with my students. First thing I'm going to use is the place value cards. Now, I'm not actually using it for the purpose that they've intended, but we are going to play a place value game, so I figure it's going to be fine. The other thing I'm going to use is the dice, and I'm going to use in particular one 10-sided die. So it has 0 through 9. That's 10 sides. And basically, I've set up my board already to play with my students. So I have given myself a numerical name because that's all we can do here is just put numbers. I am 007 and my fake opponents here have picked 510, which is the area code of Oakland where we all live. To start this game, we're going to imagine that we're here in this ones place. We both have this staircase. It starts here in the ones place. The division symbols, by the way, are just here to separate our two sides. We're not actually going to put 0 in the ones place, but I just want you to imagine this here is our staircase, and we're going to eventually extend out all the way to the thousands place. And by the way, I'm just going to move this because I do think it's going to be a little distraction. So we're imagining that there is nothing here yet, but there will be in a second. So with the first roll, we roll an 8. So everybody has to put the 8 in the same place. Kind of don't have a choice. And that's because we only have the ones place available. So both 007, that's me. Maybe I'll move this over one more. 007, that's me, has 8 points, and 510 has 8 points. And right now, nobody is winning or losing. So I'm going to write +0. They have no more points than I do. And oops, where'd it go? And then I'm going to write +0 on this side for mine because I have no more points than they do. Nobody's winning right now. We are going to then roll again. Our first roll is a 3. And the players or your class who you're playing against or the particular student you're playing against gets to choose now. You're going to either have a choice of putting the 3 in the tens column or the ones column. So I'm thinking about probability, and I even might say this out loud. I'm thinking about probability, and there's probably a good chance that there's going to be more likely a number bigger than 3. So I'm going to leave the tens blank and just leave that there. My student might be like, no, there's not going to be a number bigger than 3. Put that number in the tens column. We're going to roll again. And the number is 8. So my guess paid off, and I now have 83. But my opponent's guess did not pay off, and they now have 38. So theirs is about 40, and mine is about 80, and that's something that I think aloud a lot during this game. So if mine is about 80 and theirs is about 40, then mine is about 40 more than theirs. This is the estimation piece of this. And theirs is about 40 less. So right now I'm winning by 40. They are losing by 40. Okay. Third row, and in the third row of this game, we're going to now do hundreds, tens, and ones. So 3 rolls of the die. And the first roll is 3. Now, some people might think, oh, well, you can just roll 3 dice at once. But by rolling 3 dice at once, you kind of make it so that you're always going to make it the biggest number. Here, there's a little bit more chance involved. I'm going to put my 3 here. My opponent copying me is probably going to put his 3 here. That happens sometimes. Roll again. And a 9. So if we are thinking about place value and probability, we're going to assume that 900 is probably the biggest number. But maybe my student doesn't realize that, and they'll put a 9 here. Oh, and you can't see it. Oops. Oh, 0. So that 0 there is important, right? Now I have 903, and they have 93. Well, what's the difference between about 900 and about 100? Well, it's a difference of 800. So now I'm winning by 800. Now, the nice thing about, when you can do this on paper, there's no way to do it that way. When you can do this on paper, you have a lot more space, a little bit limited here, but it's no less effective, I think, in explaining. We'll say this is less 800. And it could be that when you're playing, you'll discover, like I just did, that it's a little too far over. I'm just going to move that really quick. Just so that this is really clear. All right, so I am winning by about 840. They're losing by about 840. And to finish this game off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to imagine that there is a invisible addition line here, invisible addition line here, and you're going to compare your sums. So this is another piece of this game that I think is really helpful, is just some practice adding 3 digits and 2 digits. So 8 and 8, 16 and 3. Now, not every student is comfortable with addition like this down the columns. So you can just give students a chance to do it on paper separately if they want to. You don't have to have them add down the columns. Oh, and if you have something like zoom up, you can also use the zoom annotations to make a line here. That might make it a little bit easier to see. This was 1013. Mine is doing the quick addition. Okay, so mine is about 1,000. Theirs is about 140. You can see that our estimation is about right, and that could be another area of conversation if your estimate was about right. So that is the staircase game. You're a little bit limited playing it this way, but I do think that it doesn't keep it from being a really great game. And another thing that you can do if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can also put decimals in here, and that makes the game a little bit more challenging and provides more place value practice for 5th and 6th graders when you're thinking about comparing decimals. If you're looking for other ways to incorporate virtual manipulatives in your remote learning, check out this video next.